So, I'd like to talk to you today about story ideas and where they come from. I'm sorry it's been a week. S- I recently had a death in the family and I haven't had time to record. But in that time, I've had some really weird dreams. And not the usual kinds of dreams that I personally have, but the sort that fit into this mold of really weird and interesting story ideas. And I just personally think they're fascinating from the point of view of a writer, and I think it's a sign almost of one of those great the, the world is speaking to you moments, right? The moments of inspiration that I think are very useful, even if you don't intend to write the story anytime soon. Uh, but nevertheless, the first dream I had, um, I I can't help but think it came on in the sort of Twin Peaks inspired miasma, possibly created by a bit of bad food that I ate the evening prior. See, in the dream, there was this girl I used to know, a girl who I didn't get along with back in school. Bear in mind, in the real world, I've been homeschooled since the second grade, so make of that what you will. Uh, Later, I recall having encountered this girl a second time out in the wild, and her being really nice, and I got along with her just fine, perfectly friendly. But in the present day of this dream world, uh, I am made aware of some great tragedy that had happened and resulting in the girl's death. The thing is, the local rumor had it she was actually murdered. That she was killed by her own father in a sort of black magic ritual, because her father was apparently a drunk, and he was like a poor, penniless sort of layabout who gave everyone the creeps. But after her death, it comes into this massive fortune, and he gets over his drinking problem and moves into a mansion and begins and basically becomes like this socialite philanthropist. And so the rumor goes that he made a deal with the devil, sacrificing his daughter in exchange for fame and fortune. uh, then I woke up from the dream, only I didn't actually wake up. It was a dream within a dream. So I go and tell my parents about this dream. In the dream world, right? I'm still dreaming. So dream me goes and tells his parents about this weird dream that he had. And it turns out that the girl actually did exist. Uh, and though he, me, I didn't have a clear memory of her. And the more research this dream me does, the more suspicious he becomes. Because the girl actually did die, and the father is rich. But there's no rumor of him being a magician or sacrificing her or anything. So that dream ends with me resolving to investigate, perhaps with the intent of discovering what really happened and perhaps getting justice for this girl who I didn't actually know. Uh, it's so strange. In any case, it's a story that feels ripped right out of a David Lynch production, like the dream within a dream, the dead girl who I sort of knew and sort of didn't, and who seemed to be a dramatically different person each time I saw her. It's very, very fascinating. And the father, who might very well be an occultist, or maybe there's more to it. Maybe maybe there's something I hadn't considered. Maybe it was the unnamed mother who killed the daughter, and she's using her husband as a cover for her own dark deeds, eh? Uh, I'd have to throw in some sort of twist like that if I were ever to actually write this story. But see, a dream like that, in the hands of a capable author, can go any number of directions and can make for one hell of a work of fiction. But what's more is I had another dream just last night that is more blurry and I remember less of it. But I think it also speaks to me as a writer because in this dream, I'm watching it play out almost like a movie, although sometimes I move from one person's perspective to another. There's there's this old man in a stately manner, and he fears his death is upon him. He's having some sort of conflict with the people who attend him, and it's more often the POV of one of those people who I enter throughout the dream. And I think these people are supposed to be his relatives, perhaps, maybe grandchildren, primarily. And it's this guy who's probably his grandson who the dream lingers on the most. This guy is convinced that there's a murderer in the house and who's looking to kill the old man and maybe him too. There's a thunderstorm outside, so no one can leave, and our main character finds himself sneaking around a lot. He's overcome with paranoia, looking to avoid the others and as much as he can. And when he goes to look in on the old man, he like fusses over every drink and every bit of food, and he's afraid that it all might be poisoned. There's actually one instance in this really weird dream where someone has brought the old man like many drinks, like three or maybe four, and the main character is somehow convinced that one of them is poisonous, but not all of them. So he has to decide which one. Uh, my only assumption in this is that the main character is suffering from this severe paranoia and perhaps and perhaps a much worse affliction of the mind, and that he's just convinced that the others are out to get him. Only, as I said, I enter the mind of other people too throughout the dream, and they're all equally convinced that there's something really wrong with the house and with the old man himself, right? I only briefly enter his mind, and it's this really I don't remember that part of the dream very well, but I get the impression that it's very grim and very confused, and he doesn't know why anyone would want to kill him, and honestly, neither do I. He's a really old guy with I want to say he can't walk and he talks with great difficulty and people have to bring him things and it everyone went there, I assume, because he's on his deathbed. That that I mean, there's only one real reason I can think of that they would venture out into such a horrible thunderstorm, right? Go and check on a guy like that, who's obviously rich enough to have uh, yes, maids and butlers and people to look after him. So yeah, maybe he knows something that he shouldn't. Maybe one of them is a sort of Jekyll and Hyde character where they don't even know that they're the murderer, or maybe it's the house that's the problem. Maybe there's a demon or a ghost that's terrorizing them. I recently been doing a lot of research into various supernatural horror movies, right? And the villains in those, it's always Malak and Pazuzu and Paimon or a wraith or a banshee or the goat from the Vitch, right? Maybe all that sink into my subconscious. Dreams are such a great method for getting story ideas, and I love that that's slowly becoming a part of me now. Maybe when I'm done with the White Worm Chronicles, my fantasy series, I'll begin work on a weird occult detective story. inspired by one or both of the dreams that I've mentioned here today. You never know. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about for now. Like and subscribe if you like weird nonsense like this, among other things, and hit the bell while you're at it. And take care. So, yeah, bye.